they are going to enter comma 67. So how will you know the first number and the second number? Good. So how it will know the first number and the second number is that if I use the method called dot split. If I use dot split now, and I'm going to give you the condition split anywhere you see comma. So this means that if you see this comma in this point, you're going to tell me that this one is the first one and this one is the second one. So if you're confused, it's for beginners and probably it's for dummies here. So we're going to explain this thing in the language you want to understand. So the video is going to be long. I'm not here to prove a point. I'm here to explain it to you to understand whatever is going on. So I might not do a proper introduction, but as time goes on and I'm going through this method and all these little keywords, I'll be explaining it in depth. Things that people will cut and join me, I'm going to explain it for you. That is why I'm in this channel. I'm in this channel to know, not to be pushing everything to AI and be giving you, and you don't even know what you're doing. Baby steps. That is what we're doing in this channel. So follow me up. Just follow me up. You're gonna love it. Okay, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, wherever you're watching from, we're going to discuss about 3 ways to build a calculator in Python. This is a beginner's project. And you'll be working with if, else, elif statements in Python, and even while loops in Python. You'll be working with the condition statements in Python, and you don't understand how it's going to work. So in this, okay, like I was saying, if you've been practicing with if else statements and elif and why, and you don't understand what they mean or how to put them to work, so this place we're going to demystify or explain whatever everything you've been learning is, and then we're going to show 3 ways we can build a calculator in Python. And then after that 3 ways, we're going to elongate it to see if we can build the basic science calculator in Python before we move on to other things. Okay, work with me. So you open an app. Let's say you're building this app, for instance, and you open an app. You're supposed to see like a greetings. So let's just print. Then we don't have a name for this calculator, but let's just call it next calculator. So we're going to say welcome to next calculator. So if we open our app, right, this is what we're going to see. It's going to tell us welcome to next calculator, right? So let's put everything we're going to do in while loop. And then before we continue, let me explain what if, else, and why statements are. So if will only run if the condition is true. So a condition is given. So it will only run if a condition is what? True. And then we'll have if, we have if, and then we have what? Elif. So if there are much more conditions, if the first condition is not true, you're going to try these other ones. Elif is more of like an or statement. If this is not working, or this. So we can have a lot of elif we deserve depending on the conditions we're working. And then when we're through with the elif, we're going to have what else is the last one we're going to get there. So if this condition is not true, the other one should be what? True. So that is it about the if else statement. Then we'll have what? Why? While we continue to run as far as the condition is what? True. The while is like an infinity loop something. It will continue to run unless a condition is not true, unless a condition breaks it or something breaks it. So from while, if you're not careful, you can run to something called what? Infinity loop. Infinity loop is a loop that continues forever, or unless it is broken. So we're going to see it. So let's go. We're going to have while, and we'll write while statement by writing the word while. So I'm going to spell while true. So this means it's going to run forever. So I'm not stating any condition yet. So the thing will continue running forever unless something breaks it. There's a break there. We're going to see it. So while it's true, I'm going to say collect an input from the user. So I'm going to set this input I'm going to collect from the user to a variable. Understand? So let me set it. Let me call this variable. Let me call this variable operand. So I'm going to say operand, and then in Python to collect information from the user, we use this keyword input. All right. So I'm going to tell the user enter. I'm going to say enter operands. Enter operands to perform a mathematical calculation, or enter QUIT, enter quit to quit. So if you're no, and then you don't understand all of this, because you can see I put this in a double quotation, and then when I go here, I'm using a single quotation here. So in Python, when you start, you try to quote something in double quotation, and then you need to put something in a quotation, so you use a single. If you had start with a single quotations, then you have to use a double at this point. Because if you put a double quotation here, it's telling you that that statement you are trying to make stops here. Then any other thing from this place to this place, sorry, any other thing from here to, come on, let me use my mouse. So any other thing from here to here is what? Useless. So if you run this code, you're definitely going to have an error. So that's how we use the double quotations, right? Then you say enter operand to perform a mathematical operation calculations. So how do we then know the operands? So let me put it in a bracket for them. So I'm going to say the operands will be what? Plus, minus, then multiplications, then normal cross, which is what? Divisions. So these are the things that are going to enter to perform a mathematical what? Operation. All right. So this is good now. So when this is good now, so when they enter an operand, what else are we going to do? So let's try to like end our loop at C. So let me give you a condition to break that loop at C. So I'm going to use an if statement now. So whatever they are entering inside this input is going to be stored in this variable called what? Operands. Are we clear? It's going to store in the variable called what? Operands. So I'm going to say that if what is in the operands, let me say if operands is equal to, you understand? So this is a comparison operator. So if it's simple equal to, is an assignment operator. So you compare. If it is this or this. So that is the difference between an assignment operator and comparison operator. An assignment operator is that what is at the left hand side is also what is at the right hand side. Understand? So why a comparison operator is comparing if something is true, if it is true or not. So that is the basic explanation about an assignment and equality operator. So are we going now? The comparison, whatever. You can call that one. So now, if operand is equal to, put this because it's a string, you're trying to compare a string. If it's equal to what? Quit. If it's equal to quit, this is how you write if statement. So if this is condition, it is, then you have stopped giving your condition. Whatever you write under here is going to be run based on this condition that is up there. Right? So, sorry guys, there might be noise in my background. Don't worry. And there are people that are over happy. So you are here to basically build your life. So you got to like ignore the noise. I'm recording this at my time is something, maybe it's not 10 in where I am, but there are people that are overzealous and are not sleeping yet. So you might be hearing their voices cutting through my mic. Do not care. Yeah, you're here to learn. Yes, like I say so. So now, if operand is equal to quit here, operand is equal to quit, we're going to tell them. That means if they want to exit the calculator, we're going to tell them, thank you for using next cow. Let me just call it, put this next to be n. Next cow, right? Thank you for using next cow. Thank you for using next cow. And hope you enjoyed it. So you might see this thing I did here, slash, backward slash end. That is telling me that whatever I'm going to write after that backward slash end is going to end up in the new line. So that's like an escape character. So let's run our calculator and see what our calculator is doing, if you have any error. So this is how to run your calculator using another terminal. So you can run it using it. If you're using a VS Code, you can just go here and then go to terminal and then new terminal. And you can run your stuff, shift, enter, or you just press this play button here. So it will show here. But me, I don't want. I want it to be seeing it at the side. All right. So now, this is how you run it in another terminal. So fire in the directory. If you see now, you see that I'm in document, I'm in Python for beginners, which is the directory where I save this Python file, while _loop.py. So this is the directory. So you look at it telling you, if I hover around, it's telling that it's in C, and it's in users, and it's a squared bracket 38 inside the document, and then we'll have inside the document, we'll have a folder called Python for beginners, then while loop. So are we good? We're good, right? So let me run it. So it's telling you, welcome to next calculator. Enter operand to perform mathematical calculations, or enter quit to quit. So let me enter this QIT. Quit, let me see. It says, thank you for using NestCal. Hope you enjoyed it. Do we say anything here? Hope you enjoyed it. All right. So let me try and put a new one here. It's telling us hope you enjoyed it. So imagine if I enter this quit. This quit now, this quit I enter was in small letter. Imagine if I enter the quit in capital letter. QIT. You see that it did not give me any error. So it just told me to enter another mathematical calculator. So that means I cannot even exist. This loop will continue running forever. So what happened? What happened? Why I enter a uppercase or capital quit and it did not exist? Is because Python is case sensitive. That is to say that a small quit and big quit, they are of what? Different thing. And how do we do it? we're going to do something we're going to use a method called dot lower to convert everything that is entering this input that is storing in the operand to what? Lower casing. Everything that is what? Quit. So we're going to do that by saying what? Dot lower. So dot lower, we put something like this. So if we run it again, before you run your file, after you edit here, you have to press Ctrl S to save each one, each iteration you want to run. Just save it. So now let's enter again. So let me enter quit. So thank you for using NestCal. I hope you enjoyed it. Enter operation to do. So you might ask, why did it give me space than before? You see this escape line that I enter here. That means if you run again, you have to run one line. Hey, that is just a simple stuff to write it. So if I want to space all this, I have to like be entering all this to be spaced. You start. So let me enter big quit and see. Did you see that it gave me the same thing? Are we seeing something? We're seeing something, right? So I see something. So I believe we understand what is going on. So I believe we understand what is going on. We understand what is going on. So I mean, we can go. That means the big quit is working. But something is happening. If I enter quit, and it told me this, isn't it supposed to break out of the loop? But it's not break. So that is when we are going to use a keyword called break. Break stop a loop. We have break and continue. So if assuming I'm using continue, it's going to jump. If you use a continue, right, it's going to jump from that condition. Once that condition is not satisfied, it's going to check another condition. But now I am going to use what? Break. Break means stop the loop of the engine. So after it tell me all these things, what is it going to tell me again? Break. So now and once you run another iteration, don't continue running this. You have to press Ctrl C to quit. Then if you're using a terminal, press clear or CLS. If you're in a PowerShell, you press clear. If you're in a CMD, you press CLS. I think that is all. Or interchange it. This will work. So now, let's run it again. So, we've run it now. Let's see what it's saying again. Say quit. Let's say quit. Say thank you for using NestCal. Hope you enjoyed it. And it broke out of the loop. So are we good? Mm-hmm. Do we see that our quit is already neatly working? All right. So I think we should go. What do we do next? So let's go to the main reason why we are here. Mm-hmm. We are break out the loop now. Let's go to the main reason why we are here. So if somebody enter an operand, so now let me use if statement. If operand is what? If operand is equal to, it's equal to, let me say plus. I seen. So if somebody say, okay, it's plus, I want to do what we tell the person, so we'll collect an input again. So let me call this addition. Addition is going to be a variable that is going to store whatever the command that the person is going to enter. So it's going to be input. It's going to be input, and then we're going to tell the person enter the first and the last number in these formats. So make sure you make your UI usable, user interface, make it so that the user can know what they are typing. Let's say 45,67. So they're going to enter the first and the last number. Stores. So and when they enter, what do we do? So if they enter the first and the last number, so what do we do? So if you know what we do on the chart, tell me what we do. Tell me what we do before we continue. Okay, now that we have entered first and second number, so what do? We're going to split that number. There is a method we call split. Dot split means it separates the number whenever you see a condition you are giving to it. So now the first number we're having here is going to be what? 54. So let me not use 54 in case people would think that it must only add the big number. So let me use 5 and 7. So they can use the addition. I think if I put 2 to what the number is going to work. Excuse me. 5 and 7. Now, if I enter this first 5 and 7 like this now, because if they enter, they are going to enter, 6, 7. So how will you know the first number and the second number? Good. So how it will know the first number and the second number is that if I use the method called dot split. If I use dot split now, and I'm going to give you the condition, split anywhere you see comma. So this means that if you see this comma in this point, you're going to tell me that this one is the first one and this one is the second one. So if you're confused, it's for beginners and probably it's for dummies. Here. So we're going to explain this thing in the language you want to understand. So the video is going to be long. I'm not here to prove a point. I'm here to explain it to you, to understand whatever is going on. So I might not do a proper introduction, but as time goes on, and I'm going through this method and all these little keywords, I'll be explaining in depth things that people will cut and join. Me, I'm going to explain it for you. That is why I'm in this channel. I'm in this channel to know, not to be pushing everything to AI and be giving you, and you don't even know what you're doing. I'm in this channel to clarify, to baby steps. That is what we do in this channel. You understand? So follow me up. Just follow me up. You're gonna love it. So now dot split here. So let me show you what this dot split does. So I'm going to say print. Let me print addition. So this is how you print something, by the way. I'm going to print additions. I'm going to print additions, what is in the index of 0. Let me see. So what am I saying? If they impute a number, put a number, impute here. Any number that you're putting inside your terminal here, it's going to be stored in this thing called variables. And what is the variables? Addition. That means additions has a number, first number and the second number. In this case, we have an example called 5 and 7. The first and second number, all right? Now, how do I know how to get the first number, how to get the second number? Good. Now, this thing is a variable additions. So I'm accessing this index. So how do I add this? How I access the index? And this index is 0. Python start counting from 0, 1, 2, 3. That means if I have this kind of thing, and I want to access what is in the index 0, it's going to be 8. What is in index 2? It's going to be what? I'm counting from 0. 0, 1, 2. So what is in index 2 is 1, not H. So Python start counting from 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. So if I say what is in index 5, it's going to be what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is this I. So it's not going to be H. If I count from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you understand? So that is why I'm going to access what is in index 0. So now let me do this. So let's run this. So I'm going to do plus. So enter the first and the last number with that format. So as I am entering the first and the last number, so let me enter 7, 9. So did you see that it prints 8? So why did it print 8? Because 8 was in index 0. Are you seeing it now? So let me enter 45, 90. So sorry, let me enter plus because I want to do plus first. So let me enter 45, 90. You do see that it gave me 45 as the first number. So let me access the second number here now. So let me change this to 1. So let me change this to 1. So let's clear this. So are we seeing it now? So I'm going to do plus. So let me do 45, 9, 8. So you see that it gave me 8 as the answer, right? So I'm sure you get the point now. So let's go. So now I'm going to delete this. So I'm going to have another variable, num1. Call this num1, let it be the first number. So I'm going to say num1 is going to be addition. You know how to get the first number now. Addition at the index of 0. Understand? So I'm going to do what? Num2. Additions in the index of 1. Now, you know what is plus now? So I'm going to, let me say a result. Get another variable called result. Result is going to be what? Num1 plus num2. So you might confuse what is the writing. So let's go through the code again. I'm saying if operand is equal to plus, let somebody enter plus. I'm going to store it in a variable called addition. It's like a database, a memory card. The addition now, whatever I'm entering inside this thing, I will split it wherever I see that comma. Good boy. So now the addition now, I'm going to collect a number from inside. I'm going to store addition, like I'm equating a variable to a variable. So addition is a variable, this num1 is also a variable. So I'm going to equate addition to num1, but it's in the index of 0. That is in the index of 0. That first number is going to be what? Num1. That second number is going to be in the index of num1. Then the result is going to num1 plus num2. Addition is a plus b now. Addition of two numbers. So this thing is telling that this calculator cannot add more than 2 numbers. So if you stick through to this channel, we're going to see the one where we can add up to how many numbers in an easy way. So now let's go. So this is result. So how do I get it? I'm going to print it out. So print, I'm going to tell it result. This one is, so put it in a quotation. Put this in a quotation. So when I put it like this, there, you give a space, trying to format it. So result. So this means this result here now is going to, this thing is a string. So this is what I'm going to say result. But this result now is a placeholder. Is holding, what is it holding? Num1 plus num2. Python will calculate it for you. So there's a bit of Python. So now let's run it. Sorry. So I want to do plus. So the first number is 7, and 9. So what do you think is going to be the number? What is going to be the result if you get it? Before. Like, don't, like, I've not run it. So just comment the answer here as a timestamp. Like there's a way you write timestamp in YouTube. So you go to comment the answer in timestamp. Then if I run the answer, you get it, comment it also. And if you do not get it, comment it also. So did you see? Result is what? 69. Result is 69. So in which armed forces is 6 plus 9, 69. Do you see that it's adding them based on what? Data types. This is adding them based on a string. Data type. So this Python did not know if that number is an integer. An integer is a whole number. 2, 12, 24 is an integer. Or a floating point. A floating point is a dot number, decimal numbers. 12.5 is a floating point. 0.568 is a floating point number. You understand? You're seeing the differences. So now let's convert this number that we are adding to a floating point. Because people might say, I want to add 3.5. It might not be 3, only a whole number. You see that? So you can do plenty conversion on a floating point. You can actually convert everything that is coming here to be a float. Or you can do them individually here. So me, I would prefer to do them individually here. So I'm going to do what? Floats. Everything here, I'm going to put float. And this is how you convert something to floating point. So it's float, F-L-O-A-T. If you're using a good editor or you're on your phone, if you write a keyword, the colors are different. So float is a keyword in Python. You see that the colors is, what is this color? Green. If it's a keyword, then you have this color. Break is a keyword. True. All these are keywords. So let's run the code again. Then let's enter plus. Entering plus. So let's add 6 and 7. What is 6 and 7? 13, right? Did you see that your answer is 13.0? So I'm trying to enter an escape character to start on a new line so that there will be good formatting. So that is what you see me doing. So let me quit. I'm no longer quitting by pressing Ctrl C. We're using what we put now. See that is switch. Let me enter plus. Let me enter 7.9. You see that the result is what? 16.0. You see that whatever we code is now correct and it's sweet. That's what we are guessing now. You see? So if you follow me to this point, you are serious. Don't quit. So now we've already done for plus. How about for other points? So let's do for minus. And in programming, we don't suffer ourselves writing this again. We like it to be fast. So copy. How to copy and paste and then change some things. Now I told you before that elif is if a condition is not true, do the other one. So or if it's not it. So now if the condition, whatever they enter here, so this plus is running based on the condition that the operand collected, right? So now we're going to do this minus to be elif. So that means if it is plus, do this one. But if it is minus, check this. If it is not minus, check another thing again. If it's not minus or plus, check another thing. We are coming to that. So change this to what? Minus. So I can change it to subtraction. Or I can leave it in addition. For it not to confuse you. So let it be what? Call this what? Subtraction. Subtract. Let's just do subs. Because most times spelling is mess with our brain. So can you see that? So we're going to change the result to be minus. So you see the same thing. If you want, we can run it, but let's keep going down. So let's run another elif for our division. So elif. So elif. You divide. Okay, division is just normal cross. So I'm going to do this. But I have a problem. You can't divide. In mathematics, we can't divide by a number 0. What if somebody enter the first number 2 and the last number 0? So it can't divide. So it's going to run into an error. So our code will break because you're not catching the error. Now let's catch the error. Let's use an if statement. So if num2, what is the num2 is the one that is the denominator now. So if num2 is equal to 0, if num2 is equal to 0, points. So we're going to tell the person or the user undefined. Undefined is a big English in calculator. So let's assume it's primary 2 or basic 2 that is using nursery 2, or how did they say it? Second grade, fourth grade, third grade that is using this calculator. So we're going to tell you cannot. What is going on? Cannot divide by 0. So cannot divide by 0. But if what they enter is not 0, I mean that is where else is coming. Else, if whatever they enter is not 0, then let's run our normal stuff. Alright, so let's paste it again. Then let's enter, we have entered divide, so let's enter multiplication. multiplication. There. So instead of subs here, let's say division here. But we continue, but for your this is happening for the readability of your what code. It makes your code to be what super readable. In case it's a beginner that is running it. So I'm going to call this one multiplication. It's not multi the drink. So I'm going to call this one. So we have mod here and there. So it's pretty much running now. So let's test it. So let's run this. So now, well, here, what if, okay, let me say I want to do multiplication. Multiplication I want to do. So let me enter. I want to do 8 times 9. Oh, sorry, that thing I did was not multiplication, it's division. Was it division? Or did I just enter? It's multiplication. So there's a problem. So you see that it's giving us a logical error. So when your code is running, there's no error in your code, but you're not getting the answer. We call that type of error what? Logical error, because logical is crazy, right? You'd be like, what is not what I expected it to do? So you can read through your code and see there's no mistake. So let's run it again. So let's do, I want to do multiplication still. I want to do 8 multiplied by 9. Did you see now? That's the result. So I want to do division next. What do I want to divide? Divide 34. Divide 10 by 2. Something that we can know the answer. You see that the result is what? 5, isn't it? So we're getting it. So what if I don't want to divide again? What if I don't want plus? I don't want minus. I don't want multiplication. And I don't want division. Or I don't want to put quit. I want to put a next. So it's not catching that error. Isn't it? There's no rate limit, any error here. So let's catch it. So that means this our if this is carrying this elif. So there's no any else that quite fit it, but I want else. Else print enter a valid operator. Do we see it? So now let me run it and try and catch that error. So yeah. Next, enter a valid operator. So let me put this. So put. So let's enter next. Put next. See, telling me to enter a valid operator, then you run again. You see that because it's in a loop, it did not end. Assuming you're using only if else statement. After you tell me to run a valid operator, you need to run the whole program again. But because we're in a loop, it did not quit. Understand? So we can run it. So we have already built a basic calculator that can add what 2 numbers, right? If you stay to this point, thank you for watching, and then subscribe and like. So I'm going to cut the video, and then I'm going to, I won't cut the video. So I will continue in this straight to one video. So now, let me maximize this so we can read through the code. So this is just the code. If we need this code, indicate in the comments so that I can drop a report to it, because I'm sure you follow it screen by screen, and then you can copy the code, because that is what will happen. If operand is this is that, another operand. So in the next one I'm going to do, we can see how we do the same thing. But this how many lines of code is 44? This is too much. We can see how we can do the same logic, but in the lesser line of what? Code. Alright. So okay guys, welcome to the second method. The second method, we're going to do something called try and what, except. So imagine you have a bottle full of biscuit or cookies, right? You try to open the bottle full of biscuit, and the bottle is very, very strong. You can't open it. Normally, what a kid will do is to start crying, get angry, break the bottle of the cookies or biscuit. But you as an adult, you decide not to break the bottles, but maybe to also either ask somebody for help to open the biscuit for you, or you look for another thing to eat or eat another snack. And that is what try and accept concept is. You try something, you try to open that thing, you try to run that code. But instead of you to break, instead of you to start grumbling, start shouting, and start crying, and start showing emotions, you do what? You do something else, lower than how you were supposed to react before. So now let's see how we can import those principles in building this calculator. So I've commented this one we did before. So it's just going to be the same thing. So we're going to say, welcome to next calculator. So welcome to next calculator. So we're going to use while. So while true. So let's say I'm going to say user input. Now call this one user input. Because it's going to input something. So user input is going to be equal to what? Then we're going to tell it input. Also input. Let me call these values. Enter your values toss. So they are going to enter something like 4 plus 3. You see that it's looking more like a calculator, but 4 plus 3 toss 4 plus 3. Example 4 plus 3. So or quit to exit. Quit to what? Exit. So and then let's put this in a single quotation. Single quotation. So okay. I normal this so it is if user input dot what lower. You know how we do this, right? If user input dot lower is equals to quit. Then I'm going to say what print thank you for using this app. Then I'm going to print on the next line. Lock space goodbye. So when you say goodbye, what do you do next? You break. So that is all. Or if you did not enter that thing and they enter that kind of thing, you're going to what? Try. You said that we're into what? Try now. Let's see how we're going to try. So when you try, you put it like this. So you know, this thing that you're seeing now will have a first number, which is 4. In the example you are doing, we'll have an operator, and then we'll have what? Second number, num2. So what do? I'm going to try num. I'm going to say num1. I'm setting a variable. This is just a way to set a variable. Call num1 operator. Call to num2, and then num2 should be equal to what? Equal to what? User input. User input, then you split it. Dot split. So where am I splitting? Let me just leave it like this. So I'm going to split it in the space. So let's read it again. This thing means that whatever is in this user input that this user is going to enter, isn't it? It means whatever this user is going to enter, you're going to tear it. You're going to split it. Space, this thing empty means there's a space. Anywhere you see space, tear it, split it, cut them into 3 things. We expect a num, which is the first number. We expect an operator. Then we have what? A num2. So you see that this thing is telling, when I hover around, it's telling that everything here is string. Is string. VS Code is very, very frank. So now, how do we test if this thing is working? Now you see that try is writing a red something. So we're going to put an except first. So try and except work together. If you did not put except, it's going to do something. Except. So let me say except, then pass. So pass is when you don't want to write anything, but you don't want that code to give error. You understand? So now let's try because whatever we do, we try it. So now, if they split it, I want it to print num1. So let's see if what we are doing is correct. So let's enter 4 plus 5. Did anybody watch it? You see that there is space, right? So as I enter, you see that it gave me 4. Are you seeing it? It gave me the first number. So let me print operator. So let me print operator, then let me quit. So let me clear. So let me run it again. So I want 7 plus, always give space, 9 and 8. So the operator he gave me is what? Plus here, right? So this is the operator plus. So let me enter or quit. So let me give space. Let them be space. So there'll be space in the next one. So I guess so. With this proof, let's try putting the capital letter. I guess that with this few points of mine, I've convinced you that I know what I'm doing, all right? I'm not wasting time here. So now let's go, let's do something. So I'm going to say everything that is coming out, VS Code is telling me that it's a string. So let's convert this num1 and num2 to float. Num1 is going to be what? Float. Float num1, num2. So it's not be disturbing us. Float num2. Sorry, are we good now? So we're going to do now if. Let's enter our if. So if operator is equal to plus, operator is equal to plus, do this num1 plus what? Num2. So elif operator is equal to minus, do this num1 minus num2 elif operator is equal to what? Elif operator is equal to multiplication. So that's multiplication. And it's going to be num1 multiplied by num2. So elif. So I'm going to say elif operator is equal to what? Division. So I think we are still going to have like our normal condition. So if num2 is equal to 0, print cannot divide by 0 and else num1 over num2. So we are good. What's going on here? So this is not supposed to be here. So we said, okay, if this is here, then except. So what is the except here now? So this one is happening if, that means this thing means that if I open this jar, then let all these things happen. But if the jar is not opening, what am I saying? What if I cannot open this jar? So how will I not be able to open this jar? I will not be able to open this jar if only if and if I did not put it in this format. You understand? So if I did not put it in that format, what is the except going to say? You're going to print enter invalid format. Enter invalid format. So let me say, I'm going to give them an example. Example 8 plus 9. So space is example 8 plus 9. So now let's read through. I came to calculator, I did this. So if I enter in this format, or if I enter quit, then I'm going to escape this. So if I enter in this format, and then I'm going to split it into 3, because 3 things are coming in, so I split 3 things, right? So the operator, right? So here in a print operator, I don't think I need it again. So I need to print the operator because I was using the do example. I changed the first number and the second number from string to what? Float. If the operator is a plus, then it should do this. If the operator is minus, it should do this. If the operator is also this, it should do this. Then there's an elif here. So this elif did not end. So let me end it. So how am I going to end this elif? Else print what? Print what? Invalid operator. So invalid operator. So since it's invalid operator now, then I'm going to do print again. So now, how do I print this result that is coming in? So if all these things are done, then when it reaches else, it was supposed to end. So I'm going to tell it like maybe continue. So when it prints this, it's going to continue. Then I'm going to have what? Print results. So I'm going to print it now. Print what? Results. Result is what? Results. Because everything I've done there, I'll be using results to store them. Result is equal to what? Okay, I was doing this without setting anything to result. So let me set all this to result. So see that we'll have a problem here. So you might have found it. Result, sorry. Set this to result. Results. So by the way, to not be giving us results again. So I see you're here, right? So let's try to code our stuff. What to go and see. We expect error do if we do not have any error. So welcome to next striker. So let me do 7 minus 9. Enter a valid format. So you see that the way we entered is not something. So let me give them exactly what we are doing. Enter a valid format 8. Give them space like this. So let's code. So let's clear. Then let's run the app again. 5 minus 8. So it's telling me I should enter a valid format. So 5 space minus 8. So 5 minus 8, you're going to have you're going to borrow 3. So minus 3.0. So is our calculator working? Yes. It's working. The same logic. I don't know, but this should be lesser than what we had before. So, and the way we did it is even more neat. So this is more neater. So I don't know, I can't judge. So this is the step 2. All right. So in the next step, because I said we are going to show ourselves 3 ways, right? I could have but in the next step, we're going to see how we can enter any mathematical format that is going to work. So we're going to use a built-in function. So stay tuned. Welcome to the third method, or the third ways. So we're going to use a function called what? This function called what? Eval. So what is an eval? So imagine imagine you have a robot, right? Or a magic robot that does whatever you write on a piece of paper. And normally you talk to it directly, but if I let you write instruction on paper first, then hand it over to the robot and what execute with them. So that is just what IFA does. So you write a word like you write something on the paper for somebody. I want bread, and then the person just give you bread. Normally, when you want bread, you have 2 options. It's either you bake the bread by yourself or you go and buy. And let me say I want to get a bread, so I'm far from the store, so I need to take a bike, go to the store, get my card, pay for the bread, then take a bike back. Or if you go to the store, you might want to negotiate the price. There are processes involved. But if I just need a bread, and just magic, just like wish, I wish I could have a bread, then if I does it for you. So let's see how it works. So normally, I'm tired of writing, so I'm going to copy this. So print this guy to here. So I'm going to copy it, then paste it here. So what this is going to do. So let me call this user input, right? So then I'm going to say, we've already used try. What is try? So I'm going to use try here now. So try is going to be call this expression. Let me just set it, call it expression. I'm creating a new variable. This expression is going to be equal to what? Eval. And this is how you write the function eval. You put it open. So eval of what? Whatever the user enter. User what? Input. So eval of whatever the user enters. So I'm going to do like an accept, then print invalid format. Print invalid format. So how do we print the result now? So let me say result print. Call it results. And then this guy. So what do you think is going to be here? So let me not confuse this guy. Instead of expression, let me say this to be results. So result is going to be what? Comma results. Yep, it's here. So let's read through it. Let's see what this eval is going to do for us. So let's run this guy. I come to next striker. I don't like quit. So enter expression to enter values. Let me say enter expressions. Enter your expression. Enter your expression. So since I've entered the expression, so let me run it again. So 4 plus 5, 8. Are we seeing something? So what is it saying? Your expression, not ye expression. Enter your. Quit. 8 times 9. Do we see the results? So let me quit. I want to clear. So let's clear. So now, are we going? So let's run it again. Let's run 8 times 9 times 76 minus by 92 plus 579. Did you see? So this is more better, more sweet, and more swift than what we've been doing before. How many lines of code? How many lines of code? So I told you, the more we go, the more we get what? Technical. So how many lines of code? This is what? From 89 to 98. Probably like 10 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 lines. I'm a programmer. Can you write what we wrote in 40 or 50 lines in only 10 lines or lesser? Can you do it? So that is what I'm talking about. So this eval function is a very neat one. If you understand something from this lecture, try to follow me. And like my video, importantly, share it. You know, when you do some little things like that, encourage me. I know that I'm talking to the audience and I'm building generations, not just wasting my time trying to talk to a camera. So thank you for doing that. And then the next time, we're going to see if we can store some information on the calculator. Like if you've used a scientific calculator before, it has like a history. You can see what you've done before. And then we can see if we can do a small CLI calculator, something that is portable, but it runs on basically on Python. And then if it is sweet, we can just like maybe keep it later, maybe use Django or React to like do the front end, and then use this one to do the back end for it. You know, add to our portfolio, something like that. So follow me up. This channel will teach you Python from 0 to a master. We'll also teach you Python for cybersecurity. We'll also teach you AI and also AI for cybersecurity. So when we start doing so, we'll start posting, and then we'll start raising communities. So be part of a great change community, the next Striker communities. See you on another one, greater one than this. Good night.